Joanna, it's Sophie, your host for AMC's podcast Voices of Fenua, coming to you from Moorea, French Polynesia. In this 8th episode, I'll be walking you through a favourite of mine, pizza, and I'll be showing you how to make fresh-made dough. Our key ingredient is one that is usually eaten with all. What is it? Poitrot, or corned beef. Let's go. Let's start with our ingredients and materials list. You're going to need 1 cup of warm but not hot water, 1.5 teaspoons of dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt. Our toppings today are going to be approximately 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 to 2 teaspoons of Herbes de Provence, Pua'a, mushrooms, olives, cheese, and for the materials, you'll need a pizza dish or a pie dish or rectangular tray. So what's our yeast mix? It's yeast, sugar, warm water. At first it will look like this. 5 minutes later it will have bloomed. Once it's bloomed, you can incorporate it with the rest of your dry ingredients. Now with our flour. It's 2 cups. We'll use a sifter to sift our flour, and what we'll get is a dough that is nice and fluffy. That's exactly what we're looking for. Then we add our salt. And our yeast mix. You'll see it's very sticky. At a later stage, you will probably have to add a couple of tablespoons of extra flour. But for the moment, it's just to make sure that all the ingredients are well incorporated. So you can flour your hands so it doesn't stick to your hands so much. And you form a dough ball. If you keep doing this, it won't stick so much. So here's our final result. And we cover our bowl with a damp tea towel. That will mean that our dough will have the time to rise without getting dried out. Also, if the tea towel's too wet, all you're going to get is a dough that's slimy and gross. So don't do that. And 2 hours later, voila the result. So you can see that it's, it's a nice dough. It's a nice dough. We flour our surface. And remember, we're doing this all with clean hands. We put flour on our rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, just grab a round glass bottle and flour it up. You can use it. It's just as good. I've tried it. It works. Trust me. And then we get our dough out of the bowl, which seems to be refusing to actually get out of the bowl. Okay, here we go. This is where you might need a couple of extra tablespoons of flour because it's quite sticky. Okay, we've added a little bit of extra flour and now we can cut our dough into 2 portions. I've decided to go 1, 2/3 and a third, obviously, yes. The third I'll use in the rectangle tin. So this bottle here I'll use in the rectangle tin. And then the other one I'll use for our main round tray. A little bit of flour extra so it doesn't keep sticking to my hands. Okay, there we go. Oh, isn't that nice? Okay, and we use our rolling pin again. You'll see that I'm flipping the dough every once in a while so it ends up with a more or less round shape. If you don't do that, you end up with some sort of like oval shaped. Our pizza's not meant to be oval shaped, it's meant to be round shaped. So here we go. We move our dough out of the way so that we can try to put it into the tray without making big holes. Okay, here we go. You'll see that you'll just need to shape it to fit your tin. It's never going to be perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect to taste good. Okay, and our rectangle tray, or whatever you want to call it. Let's not be pedantic. Okay, you've got to be careful here because sometimes, yeah, the dough gets a bit thin. And for our optional step, the tea towel blanket, yes, again, with the damp tea towel. And that's if you're not intending to cook your pizza right away, so it doesn't dry out in the meantime. And in the meantime, speaking of in the meantime, we mix our tomato paste, our herbs, our salt, kind of chunky this salty, and our garlic. And of course there's always a bit that won't come out. Okay, here's our ingredient of the day, punu. Here's all our ingredients on the pizza. Our pizza at mid-height in our oven, cooking for 40 minutes. And here's our pizza, our punu and mushroom pizza. Tamamate. And this is the end of this episode 8 of Voices of the Fenua. Until next time, Nana!